name's Lance and welcome to Bundy Bears Shed. Well, what have we been up to in the last week or so? It's been nearly 2 weeks since we've done a stew, and I should have done one last weekend, but it was raining and bloody noisy in Bundy Bears Shed here. But in between the showers I did take the opportunity to film a little bit of stuff, just a bit of content for us, so there'll be something to put together, but I hadn't had time to do a bit of an introduction and have a chat at the front, so I'm running a little bit late, but I've got all the rest edited. I just got to put this little piece in the front of it. But and nothing exciting's been happening too much. I've gone away and I bought a bit of stuff for the boat. Pardon me. I got the sunshade all hooked up over the top of it, the mini cover, and I'm going to make a little step so we can put an extra battery pack in there and put the little electric thruster motor out the front for sneaking up on the barramundi up in Mondurun Dam up here. And well, Mondurun Dam, it's only, well, it's an impoundment, a lake that they've made. It's a Fred Haig Dam, or Lake Mondurun, and just locally we call it Mondurun Dam. And back in 2010, the world's biggest barramundi, barra fish, got caught up there. And a bloke, it's a stocked reserve where people chuck a bit of, they put quite a bit of effort into getting small fish and putting in and stocking it as a fishing thing. And they tell me, I was just reading the other day when I was doing a bit of research on the place again, that it's the third biggest water impoundment in Australia, and there's one up at Emerald. It's a whopper, but probably more people would know the Sydney Harbour in Australia, and this Mondurun Dam, when it's full, it holds about the same amount of water as the Sydney Harbour, so that's a fair hunk. And but anyway, a fella from Mackay came down, and I can't think of his name, and he come down fishing in a kayak and looking for barramundi, and the thing on the wall, or the notice, says it was 130 centimetres. So 130 centimetres, that's a bloody big fish. I'll get a tape and see if I can convert that to miles an hour for you. And so that's 4'3.5" long, and he caught it in a kayak. God, if I was in that kayak, it would have been a bloody wobbly old show getting that fish in the boat. But anyway, it's what we've decided to do. Is set the boat up for going up there. It's a non-tidal. It's being a reserve, so and it's about 94% full of water at the moment. So it'll be a good thing. So we're going to spend a couple of Sundays running up there and getting to know the place a bit better. So we know a little bit, but not as much as we would need to. But in the meantime, just to give the boat a run, ever since I bought the boat, I wouldn't let myself take it out in the river the first couple of weekends because I had to clean Bundy Bears Shed, get all the junk organised up on the walls and all that. Well, look, I've nearly come to an end of that. We're very close. All the pallet racking's up. I've got a few tidy ups to do, but we're sailing pretty good. And so anyway, I've decided, well, it's time to get this boat out and have a bit of fun with it. So I'm going to try and spend the next 2 Sundays we can go fishing, and the one after we have other commitments and christening and that. So, but anyway, we'll see what we get up to. But what else have we been up to? Well, of course, eBay. Hey, what would life be without eBay? We'd be a bloody sight richer, all of us, I reckon. But anyway, I was chasing some. I've been chasing some tips, some WNMG tips, and I got onto a little site on eBay, and they had boxes of the tips, boxes of 10, and normally in Australia these tips would go for about 130 bucks. Yeah, and these ones are for stainless and things like that. They're a good tip. I've used them before, but they had a deal going. Pardon me. And if you bought those from Blackwood, something like that, it would be $130, something like that. I always look on eBay, and there's a few shops on eBay that have new old stock from, you know, when engineering businesses close down, they go to the auctions and buy all the gear up and things. So I often look around and I often pay $50–60 for a box of them, and I'm happy with that. That's good. But the little shop I found in China, and they had a deal going where you got the holder, and look, I haven't tried the holder, but look, it looks okay. It's got a good clamping. It's got a good clamping setup on it there. Yeah, nice anvil, and yeah, it looks good. So, so for $45 Australian, you got the tool holder, which fits in my tool holders, and a box of 10 carbide inserts. So I thought, well, that was a bit of a deal, and but I already have one of these, and I didn't really need two. And so what I did, I bought two anyway, spent $90, and Ross that works for me, he likes playing on his lathe, he's interested in machining and that, so I told him he could have one of these tools. So I've given him the holder, and I've given him 4 inserts to go in the holder, and I kept the other inserts because that's what I went shopping for originally. So hopefully he'll be up and running soon. He's had an older lathe that he's given to his lad, and he's looking around for something else now. So, but yeah, well, it'll be interesting for him, and yeah, you only need so many of a tool. If you can pass something on, that's what it's all about, really, isn't it? So, and another thing we've done is to my right, and I'll show you in a little walk around shortly. And there's a where I used to have my grinders. Used to have a row of grinders, and I had a bench left over from the other place, and it's a good sturdy bench with 40mm square legs and form ply under the folded tin top, and it's a good bench. And we used it at the shop when I had the workshop for a head bench for doing cylinder heads and putting the valve grinding machines on and all that sort of thing. And but anyway, it was too good to throw out, and I didn't want to give it away. And so anyway, I've taken the grinders out, and I thought I'll put it there and put the grinders on it, and put a vise up the end of it, and because I haven't had a vise up this end of the shop really, and so anyway, that's the way we went. But I had second thoughts about putting the grinders on, so I still haven't bolted grinders on. I've got the belt sander and all that down one end, which I think I will leave there. I'll bolt that down, but the other grinders I think I'll keep them off the bench, because a nice clean bit of bench space near your lathes and milling machines and all that's a good thing. Because all I've had in the past really is if I've done something there, I've had to go up to the welding bench and play with it, and yeah, welding benches aren't the nicest places to take parts that you need to play with. But and the vise I've put on it, it's an import vise that I've had floating around for some time. It's a fabricated vise, and I always like to buy fabricated vices rather than the cast ones. It's just a personal choice. You can weld a bracket onto them. You can do other things on them. And, depends what you need to do really. And over the years, I've often had the offset vices, with the jaws over on the side. And I found that good if we're doing universal joints. You could drop the shaft right through. But as an engineer's vice, well, you just need a straight jaw vice, and that's probably the best option to keep things nice and true. So there's one of those here, and I've bolted it to the bench, but it had steel jaws, and when you look at them, very aggressive jaws. Actually, they're a lot sharper than they look in that picture there, I see. But so what we're going to do is I jumped on Evil Bay again, and I could have went down the road and got some, but eBay was just handy at the time. And I bought a couple of blocks of alloy, of aluminium, and it's 25, which is inch by 20, which is a 15th over a 3/4. And so what we're going to do is make ourselves a couple of soft jaws for this vise here, and this vise will be the one that it just gets something sat in it, a nice machine part sat in it for filing and mucking around. I have got another two offset fabricated vices, one on my big mobile workbench and one on the bench behind the camera here, that you probably couldn't use if you had to. I've got that much bloody junk around it. But anyway, another story that. And so anyway, we'll have one vice for the general engineering and holding rough parts, and we'll have a nice well, the vice isn't that nice to tell you the truth, but it'll have nice jaws in it. And so anyway, look, stay tuned. I'll take it for a bit of a walk around and show you what we've done. And I also did a little bit of filming. I've had a vice stop in the cupboard for ages now. I bought for the milling machine with intentions of putting it on the back of the milling vice, but being a vertex vice, it doesn't lend it to that. But I'll explain that in the video. And just a bit of machining. It's a bit of just parting off a few washers, drilling a hole, parting off some washers, and a bit of general chit chat. So stay tuned, and yeah, we'll get a kangaroo stew out here. Well, in the wet weather, we've cleaned up the mill. We've tidied it all up here, and we're going to reset the vice shortly. But we bought this thing here. Look, I've had it for years, and it's a Pro stop, and it's a stop that you can mount on a vice. And with it mounted on the vice, you can do multiple parts. And I looked at mounting it on the back of my vice here, but on the back it doesn't sort of lend itself to it. It's a vertex one, but then I came up with the idea that I could mount it into T-slots here, and I can mount it wherever I like it from there. But having a flat surface here, it has a flat surface underneath, I need to make a couple of little spaces to bring it up. And with the little spaces to bring it up, well, that'll make it so we can use it on any T-slot. I can use it on the milling machine here. I could use it on the drill press or on the other drill over there. And yeah, instead of having it in the cupboard, I could actually get it and use it. So we'll set up, and we'll set up on the vice, or in the lathe, I'm sorry, and we'll make a couple of big washers just to lift that up a bit so we can have it wherever we'd like to have it. And we've had a bit of wet weather this weekend. We haven't been able to do much filming, but anyway, I used the opportunity to service the lathe. It's all cleaned up, tidied up. There's lathe tool holders, but I used to have back here where the filing cabinets are there, I used to have a big white cabinet that was made of melamine, and it was starting to rot out at the bottom. So I had these filing cabinets left over from the other shed that I've been working on changing things about with, and so we've put them there, and now that gives us a place to put the tray for tool holders and all that sort of thing that we use with the lathe. But what it should do, I'm keen to try it, is give us a mount for the tripod for filming down the bore of the lathe. So that's approximately, without any zoom, that's approximately the view, and then we should be able to zoom right in. So I also serviced these chucks, the chuck and the rotary table over here while we were going, so everything's looking nice and tidy. The tripod, or getting a place to put the tripod, that was a bit of a coup. I've been looking for a better way of filming on the lathe, and yeah, look, we'll give it a run. We'll cut these washers for the vice stop on the milling machine, and yeah, we'll put it to work and see how it goes. And if you can remember, we have the lathe and the milling machine and the drills and the welding bench up the end there, the new compressor, and I used to have a run of grinders along here. Well, I've had this bench left over from the other shed. I wondered what to do with it, so it's got junk on it at the moment. We're just in the process of bringing it into the shed here, and I have a vice. It's a cheap old vice that I had it tucked away for some reason or another, and look, they're Indian vices. I think they do the job, but they only just do the job. And I've taken the jaws off, and at the moment we're waiting on some alloy, some aluminium bar, and we're going to put a set of aluminium jaws in here, and this will be not for hitting on, just for holding parts and filing and doing a few things like that. But I have been looking at putting the grinders, etc., on the end here, but look, I'm just not 100% sure. I did have them on these brackets here, getting this mess here. I haven't cleaned any of this up yet. It's a bit of a pigsty, but look, I'm having second thoughts about putting the grinders on the end of the bench. I might put one there, the belt sander on the end there, but I think the workspace here would be more valuable, and perhaps we can relocate the grinders somewhere else. So that's all the stuff off the mill and grinding stones. That's where everything's getting put while we're in the middle of the clean-up still. And anyway, yeah, we'll make a decision there shortly on whether the grinder stays or goes, or there is a possibility. There's a lot of junk down behind the old, the big old lathe, the old flatbed Maxon lathe, down along through this area here. So there's a fair chance I could run the grinders along there, and that would be okay. But anyway, we'll have a look at that and just make our mind up as we go. Attachment here, it's got a flat surface, and then you can see it's got a little step here. So look, all we're doing, just a simple bit of turning. I've got a bit of stuff in the lathe already. It happened to have a hole up it, so bonus. And look, what we'll do, it's only the holes, or the little step, well, a little step's a couple hundred thousandths, oh well, not even that thick. So we'll just part off a few washers, and we'll put a little chamfer on them, and yeah, we might make a few spares in case we lose some. But yeah, it's about as basic as you can get for turning on a lathe. So, but this will make this a tool that comes out of the cupboard and onto the bench. But yeah, it made by Pro Stop, and it's this fella here. If I undo that, you can slide it in and out. Then there's another little Allen screw in here, and you can slide this in and out as well. So it's just a tool that's been sitting in the drawer because it wasn't easy to use. So we're just going to make it easy to use. So anyway, we'll part a few washers off and go from there. We'll put a little bit of a chamfer. Chamfer on the surface, and I'll just zoom us in. You hang on. Okay. Now I set my compound before in the straight ahead position, so we'll just pick a figure. And try and duplicate it. Right, we'll zero everything out. We'll go across to there. Instead of kilometres an hour, we'll go to miles an hour. And we'll bring them back down to 38.375. We'll just lock the nut in there. And 0.375, that's from this surface here to the back surface of the parting board. I'll try and keep it focused if I possibly can. And there's one washer. I might need to take this hole down a little bit deeper. We can just drop it down to 1/2 inch and run across. Looks like the hole before was a bit bigger than 1/2 inch, but 1/2 inch will suit our needs. So the bigger washers we might just part off and use for something else. We'll do a run of 1/2 inch up the centre. Because you've never got too many washers. See how I left that there? And a dipstick. Right, we should be able to get another one with the 5/8 hole, and then we'll drop in and do the other. Put a bit of chamfer on. Where did I put the parting to? There it is, stop looking. I got it. Okay, we'll do a 0. Bring him up 0.375. There we go. That one's got a slight step, but we can clean the centre out of that. That's no worries at all. Okay, now do a couple with the small hole. I'll part a few off and yeah, I'll come back to you in a little bit. Right, I'll try and hold this down in position if I possibly can and give you a bit of a look at how we go. There you go, another one done. Must be nearly time to buy a second camera, get a couple of different camera angle shots I reckon. There you go, we'll keep going. I'm getting a bit of vibration. I've just tried another camera angle, sitting the camera up on the edge, right up on the very edge of the lathe I'll just see what it did. I'm not real happy with a bit of vibration. Once I put my hand on the camera, the vibration goes away. I might remember to put the zero, set the zero. Then 0.375. Oh, too much. Beautiful. Lock this on. I actually locked the split nuts to do that. Bit wobbly of a start there for you. As soon as I put my hand on the camera it smoothed out. So anyway, look, we'll try and get you up on top of the filing cabinets again. Well, these are the washers and that. A couple of T-slot nuts. And they slide into the bed here. And these are the washers that we just made. It turns out they're about 7mm. They're bang on 7mm. Yeah, they come in very accurate. And the idea of this whole setup is to grab our Pro Stop. Then I bought that out of America from Edge Technology. I've got a few things of theirs and they're all pretty good. Yeah, I like them, but if we drop that fella down there, you would nip that up with a spanner. And that gives you a chance on any T-slot, anywhere on this or the drill press or anything like that, we can take a stop over and clamp it down and have a fixed point. Then round the corner here, we have an Allen key here that we can lock this arm into any position that we like. Then this stop here, we can pull him up and down to any position that we like. I'll just lock that up at about there somewhere, just for the exercise. And then this one here, you can make any number of attachments for this piece. So this rod, you can see how it comes into the other end of the vise. It's only, I'll try and shift the camera a bit. But yeah, this rod here, you can have whatever you like there. You could have a nice big flat head welded onto a rod or whatever, and as you put something in the vise, you can come back to that exact same spot all the time. So if your vise is fixed and this is fixed to the table, well, it's got to be right. There's no other way for it. So anyway, that was this afternoon's little exercise. Yeah, we're just looking for something. Well, it's been raining and I haven't been able to film because of the rain on the roof of Bundy Bears Shed on a Sunday afternoon. And yeah, it's a job I'd been looking at doing, and it just worked in well to do a Bundy or do a Kangaroo Stew episode. So anyway, this setup's good. You could make that. There'd be no problem at all making that if you chose to. But it's got a beautiful finish on it. And the people from Edge Technology, they really do a nice job. But yeah, bolt that down and that's good. Alright, we'll go and find something else to play with. Now, you know, when you make a couple of washers, I only needed two for the Edge Technology, the vice stop, but I made some more, and this is where I chose to use them. Now, that was a little washer that used to be there. I only had one on one side, and it wasn't that satisfactory. And this is a little stack I had on the other side of the vise. So, just as a bit of a side note, that's what happened to the extra washers. And that's been something I should have done ages ago as well. So anyway, they'll be good. I'll use them when I put the rotary table on and things like that. So yeah, so it's been a productive little afternoon. Must be time for a beer.